10 weeks.
We've got 10 weeks until we have nowhere else to live, and we've got to live on this boat in 10 weeks.
Somebody said to us recently that DIY on a boat is a bit like pulling a loose thread on a jumper. It certainly feels a bit like that on Esperance. We don't think there's been a single job that hasn't created subsequent unravelling and extra jobs. Similarly, we have come to the realisation that the boat will never be finished, and we will never be completely 100% ready. This epiphany has revealed itself at the same time as a pressing deadline looms. As of Easter, we will no longer have anywhere else to live, so we have to turn this nautical building site into a family home. The time has come to be brave. We are actually doing this. This is us now. There isn't really any going back. We've come so far and we've got to finish this boat. It's too late. We're committed, and even if we wanted to bail now, call it quits, buy a house, get a dog, gym subscription, a weekly routine, we can't. We are in too deep. This boat is a mess. Everything we have is buried into this project and it needs to be finished. I've been trickle feeding the YouTube videos for a while now, and I've still got footage from a year ago that I haven't edited or shared, so we've decided to bring this project right up to date. So the stage is set. We have 10 weeks to get this boat finished and back in the water with us living on board. I say finished loosely. We need to get it habitable and us living on board in the next 10 weeks. Then we can keep on working on it as we go. So many people have rightly said to us that if you wait until you're ready, you will never set sail. To make it even more difficult, we're also wanting to up our YouTubing by putting out a video every week documenting our progress. We will be accountable to you. As we journey through this 10 weeks together, I will use footage that I have saved from the last year to show you why it is taking so long to get this far. But that's okay. The past is the past, and the future is how we move forward. We will start with a tour of the boat as it is right now, this week, the beginning of February 2022, to show you what we have done and what is left to do before a splashdown day.
It's now the 1st of February, Easter is 10 weeks away. I think episode 1 or 2, Tilly did a boat tour, Tilly's boat tours. Kelly and I are now going to do a tour of Esperance and show you where we've got to with the restoration, where we've got to with the rebuild, and you can see how we're easily going to be ready in 10 weeks' time.
We will be.
The rig's off, and by the rig I mean the mast and all the metal ropes, as they're called. That's all off, but the yard's going to put all that back on, so it's going to be fairly straightforward. Andy's helped me out. We did a little patch repair down there on the keel. It's only a little job, but it's something that had to be done while it was out of the water, and it's been done. The surveyor flagged it up, so we did it. I've moved a skin fitting. It used to be here. Now it's over there, and there's also some scrappy paintwork around the boat. It's cosmetic, it's not essential, it doesn't stop us living on the boat, it doesn't stop us sailing it, so that may or may not happen before we go in the water. This rudder's been repaired. It wasn't too big a problem, but it just needed a bit of looking at, a bit of tidying up, and that's all sorted. And it's now back on the boat. Getting it back on the boat was great fun. We've got some videos from that, and we'll show you that at some point, but there's 4 of us, and car jacks and big levers and things like that to get this. It's hugely heavy, this. I mean, it must weigh more than I do. It's just made out of solid marine plywood with layers of glass fibre over the top. It's wicked, really cool. This is the P bracket, which again you may have seen if you follow us on social media, which Kelly's cousin's building up again for us at the moment. We're getting a new one. The old one was only this long, and they're supposed to be, for this size shaft and this length, they're supposed to be about that long, which gives a much more support to the prop shaft when it's spinning round and round and round and round. And I've got a new rope cutter on there as well, which just adds a bit more protection, and then the propeller's got to go back on. But that's all we've got to really do under the waterline to get the boat back sailing again. The mess. We can't just put the boat in the water and run away and leave this. So this staircase needs to be dismantled, all my wood store, which is quite substantial, hopefully you can see. And there's actually also some more stuff stored behind the boat as well. Behind there, it's under cover. It's not a huge amount, but anyway, it's all got to be tidied up, sorted out. As I say, so the rig's going to go back on, which is cool. Plan here is to put a solar arch on. So solar arch is generally that it goes up over and put some solar panels on and wind vanes and things like that. And also we're going to use ours, hopefully have a big one and double it as a shelter. That's getting made by somebody else, not us. But that does ideally sort of want to be done as part of the launching process and before we go in. Hatches, the hatches are all covered at the minute as you walk around the boat, but actually there's a huge amount of progress. They're all brand new hatches, which is cool. And they all look really tidy and neat and they're done. The only reason that one, say apart from the dust, but it's all freshly painted. And the point is I've painted it out quite a way as well, everywhere you go, so that that overlaps whatever we're going to finish the deck. But they're all done, but the reason they're covered is they are screwed down, but they aren't sealed. And the reason I haven't sealed them yet is, oh I know, it's because I'm going to be taking them back out again to finish the trim inside to make them look really flush and neat. The tow rail's new, it's all on, all the old deck's removed. This nice, new, lovely synthetic tow rail, which we're going to show you a bit more about that at some point as well. And the deck, originally we were going to put the same stuff, that flexi, like synthetic deck down, but we're now thinking like the amount of money that costs is equivalent to like at least 6 months, if not a year's worth of cruising. Like that's going to be quite useful, being able to go cruising, and we can always add it later if we're like a YouTube sensation and make loads of money. This isn't a splash job, sorting a deck out, but it is like a proper sailing job. So before we actually do any real passages or anything serious, we're going to have to sort this out. And that includes also getting all the hardware back on the deck, which is easily a week's job for the pair of us. But the essentials to hardware, like the track for the main sheet, so then the mainsail's back on, that'll be a few things like that we can just get done. All this top sides here, under here, has all been repainted. That was all done last summer, painted, and again painted out. So whatever surface we put down here will be good. Kelly's still got to cut these off from about 6 months ago. All new hatches around here, and it's just one of the reasons we love this boat, because it's just massive, big, gorgeous space. That's the mast step where the mast is going to go back on. And yeah, cool. You can see how nice a job we've made of all this bits and pieces. Again, this is off at the minute just because I'm working on this surround and making this all neat and tidy. So the hatch fits, it's been in for ages, you can see it's already been screwed down, but I just took it off the other day, do some work, and now I finished that surround, I can actually glue that back down. So our bathtub, it's going to go in the bath. And some other stuff. There's quite a few of these in the way. So I've got to remove at least those 3 boats to get us out, and that's only if they've got the movability with the trolley. Chances are they'll have to get rid of the 2 as well. But I'm reliably assured that they'll be able to get us out once we get to Easter.
And there we go.
So there was so much I wanted to do in this space, like making a console, and moving all the things, the jigs, but it's just, choose your battles. We're going to be on here for a few years, so a bit at a time. Again, we're working towards splash day. The boat works beautifully. So we're all good. This is a wicked big space in here, and we had a big epiphany, didn't we, over Christmas time, about the table, because we were just trying to squash everything down below, which is sort of classic standard boat layout thing where you fit, you've got to get your dining area in, you've got to get your sofa area in, you've got to get your galley and your nav station and all these things all combined to a small space. Now we've got a traditional boat, and we can try and make it look like a traditional boat, or we can think to ourselves, how have we actually lived our life for the last 5, 10, 15 years? And like a lot of families, we live predominantly on the sofa. And we went, there's already a table here where we're sat right now. There's a table we can easily sit our whole family around quite comfortably. On the back deck, which is going to be undercover, we have a table which you could sit at a push, like 16 maybe around it, but comfortably 10. It's a massive space. And we've got those 2 huge dining areas and seating areas already. So we had this epiphany and went, actually, downstairs, let's not focus on a dining table, let's focus on a big comfy cushy sofa and loads of open plan floor space. So this looks like a mess, and the reason is because it's a mess, but it's going to come all together, so I'm quite excited. Some of you may have seen photos of our massive sofa here, and that's just a standard sofa. I got it, we got it for 100 quid from an old sofa, like a recycle centre thing. And we had this brainwave, and I had some people go, what are you doing, that's mental, you can't put an actual sofa on the boat. And I had a few people going, why not? And I think they're right. I had one very experienced sailor who has sailed all around the world in the yard here, a chap called Martin, and he came in and had a look at it, he went, of course, why not? And he said, just bolt the bloody thing down, and it'll be great. And he's absolutely right, and he had some ideas of how we secure it to the boat, and they were quite in line with my ideas. So it's a bit like the piano, it's just a real solid feature. And the galley, again, it's all covered up, so you can't really see it. But again, it was ages ago I built this, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that's our cooker, going to be in there.
It's our IKEA induction cooker.
So we got quoted by a marine company for an induction, basically this same thing, one of these with a induction hob on top for an electric hob and an electric oven from a marine company. We got quoted £5,000, and that didn't include that, I don't think. And that was like, basically all it had to do was rock, have a lock on the door so it didn't fall out when you're at sea. So we built all this ourselves, and hopefully that's the payoff, you know, where we're going to have to invest in lithium-ion batteries, invest in the solar arch, things like that. But then the payoff is we end up with being able to use just domestic facilities like a standard fridge, a standard cooker like that. I had a big brainwave the other day about where all our inverters and batteries and stuff are going to go. So excited about that, and eventually we've got a bit of an alcove here around the cooker, and that's actually going to extend here, that's going to come out to here, and then all the rest of that unit's going to come forward to here, and then the back of that cupboards is going to be where behind there it's going to be a huge space, absolutely massive space. It's about that deep, 40 centimetres deep and wide, and there's a lot of my electric gear is going to fit behind there, which is great because it's right next to the existing electric cupboard. So I've got that planned out, and that is a job I do want to do before splash day, but I'm getting help with that, and that's because I'd like to have power on board. But we've got power at the minute. We've got some 12 volt, and we get 240 volt when we're plugged into shore. So we could, in theory, crack on, but hopefully that should all be well along the way to get in there. We're not going to have the proper lights in. All the kids' rooms are not going to have lights in when splash day, but then it's getting into spring, and it's like, fine, they can have a torch. The layout is all done in here, and this room is the best example of where we're going to get all the rooms to before splash day. So it's looking very, very white. Can you open a patch for me?
Yeah, sure.
There's storage below the bed. There you go. Look at that storage. And that's going to be like all the beds are going to be all like this. That there, just taking that panel off, it's that one there. That's going to fold down. And the reason for that is, one, it's big low storage, but two, it's also a cot bunk. This one eventually is, obviously you may notice it's quite a short bed. Our child is quite short, but the point of this is it's what's called a trotter berth, so there's going to be a hole in the wall for the legs to go through, or you can sleep like this. That's fine. Anyway, so to get this room to a finished standard, what it needs is the soft furnishings, the cushions, and then just loads of nice hardwood trim, which is where the tow rail possibly comes in, because I'm looking at chopping it up and getting that machined into loads of strips and then turning that into trim for the whole room. The ceiling, so the ceiling, and with all the roofs, it's just going to be loose panels, in position, cut to size, ready to go. But they're going to be like that. I mean, I might paint it before we move in, but that'll be it before we move in. And then as we do the electric and the lighting, because I want to get all that in position before we screw it. Right, so yeah, that to turn this room into that room is about 2 weeks' work, probably. I hope. It shouldn't be that much, but it's because I've got to do the skin on the walls as well. Take it all out, put the skin on the wall and the ceiling, paint everything, spend ages making a frame for that blasted porthole surround. You see how they used to look compared to how they look now. That's how they used to look. Just square surround, rubbishly done, damp, a bit naff, with a load of glass, bare glass and glue showing to what we've made. This area again, the cupboard's off at the minute, but it is actually more or less finished. And all we do is paint it for splash day. That's good. This area is what I was talking about, which will be known as Matt's bathroom. But you know, we'll get there.
We'll get a plaque. We'll get a plaque.
We'll get a plaque.
Matt and Kate's
Bath.
head.
Yeah. This has taken quite a lot of faffing, and I recorded a lot of video yesterday on this, which you can use to underneath here is all the work around the valve thruster tube and the resetting of all that. And yeah, these new hatches, which are all well surrounded.
Looks good.
Does look good.
Back through the bathroom, back through the kids' rooms, back through the kids' little snug, back through the sofa room and the IKEA kitchen room to the aft.
So all this eventually, at the moment, the plan is all it's going to be white with the hardwood trim, looking really sharp. But we may end up not fiddling with this for years to come.
We haven't got a massive plan for this room yet, have we?
No, except for the fact that eventually all these cupboards can actually be more or less empty, which creates a vast amount of storage and useful space.
That's useful.
It was to look at a hole in the bottom of it.
It's not useful. Keep the children at the moment, they're playing. So we've stored all of our stuff in the boxes in here.
children.
And so they like coming here to get to play with their toys, which is good. But this room, we're not really going to change.
No, I've got to do a bit of work under the bed for the steering. We've got to reconnect the steering as well. That is a splash day job. again, hopefully that's a half-day job I can do with Andy. I've had it all checked and it's all safe and good. This is our last room, which is...
We've already got all our stuff in it.
It's got the new floorboards in it as well, and some other stuff.
I haven't even seen those yet.
They're great.
Yeah, so this is a bathroom, head, whatever you call it, which we will keep. Although Hugh decided he thinks he might want it to have it as an office toilet.
No, we're not doing the office toilet. No, it's going to be double as a utility room, as well as a place to actually do a wee. End of tour.
Right,